In this video, we're going to be looking at the equation and putting it on the graph. So we're going to start out by looking at the factors. A factor of x minus 1 means that I'm going to have x at positive 1. So here's positive 1, and here's my first solution. My next parentheses says x plus 2. When I want the solution, it's going to change to a negative 2. So I'm going to go negative 1, negative 2, and make my dot. Two factors, two dots, or two solutions. Now, I'm going to look for crossings and bouncings. So this has an exponent of 1, which means that my 1 will be a crossing point. This has an exponent of 2, which means negative 2 will be a bouncing point. So I notice that my graph is positive. So I'm going to start over here in the positives. I'm over here, I cross the x-axis, which means I go from positives to negatives. Then I'm going to come back around, and a bouncing point means I touch and I turn away. And that's how I graph a crossing point and a bouncing point. We're going to do one more example. I'm going to flip this over. Notice I have x minus 3 and x plus 4. X minus 3, when finding that solution, turns into a positive 3. 1, 2, 3. Now let's look at x plus 4. When I find the solution to that, I get x equals negative 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. They both have an exponent of 1, which means they're both going to be crossing points. My graph is positive, so I'm going to start in the positive area. So I'm going to start up at the top, and crossing means I cross the x-axis. I go from positive to negative. Now I got to make it all the way to my other point. And a crossing point means I'm going to cross the x-axis and go from negatives to positives. Crossing points have to cross through the x-axis. And that's how you would graph with two factors with both crossing points.